Raqib Karim.
The thing is, how to become a comedian is not nearly as important as why you just sort of automatically turn into one. As a child, I was bullied. Obviously, I'm a giant dork. But the thing is, when you're bullied, humor is not a skill, it's a survival tactic. It allows you to survive and stuff. See, the first thing that you will experience as a child is a joke. Peekaboo, right? The mom startles a kid on purpose and it laughs. And why? Well, psychologist Peter McGraw talks about something that he calls the benign violation theory, like that. See, the idea is that we derive certain kinds of pleasure from having our norms safely violated in this way. See, whether it's questioning popular morality or whatnot, or in some cases where you literally just don't fit in, right? In such case, this is me doing an ISP ad where the biggest person in this ad gets stuffed into the smallest space. Sometimes format is also very instrumental. Jimmy Carr talks about how everything is a subversion of expectation with a joke. You know, such as in the case of three friends walk into a bar, one walks even further into the friend zone, for instance. The thing is, when you're still young, you don't have to worry about structure because you think your natural charm can carry through. But what being a journalist allowed me to do is to be concise and neat. And this is what subediting for the Star has helped me to do, right? In fact, there is a weird symbiosis between comedy and journalism because you don't have to look any further than, say, The Daily Show, The Opposition, The Patriot Act, to see how journalism and the news collides with comedy. In fact, all of these comedians from KL used to work for the Star at one point. Yeah. So, in fact, comedy speaks truth to power because it can carry subversive truths. That's the reason why our authorities crack down on people like Ezra Syed for this satire show, or Fahmi Reza for literally turning the PM into a clown. Speaking of which, she's right behind me, isn't she? I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm just saying that maybe if she gets a grab right, it's actually a flying broom. See, comedians fight tyranny with laughter. See, when Charlie Chaplin and Mel Brooks parody Hitler in The Producer and in The Dictator, they're taking the power away from an authority figure. They're chutzpah, as Mel Brooks once said in a talk show. See, in a darker parallel, you have to talk power to comedy, like in Marjan Satrapi's Persepolis, where she uses the whimsy of the art form to talk about difficult subjects. See, or in a darker parallel such as this, there's a reason why of all the characters, the clown is the most fearsome enemy of Batman, because only the court jester of the corrupt kingdom of Gotham can speak the truth of how bad that society really is. Pain is a common theme in comedy. You probably heard about the old joke of the man who goes to see the doctor complaining about his depression, and the doctor says, "Go and see the great clown Pagliacci to lift up your spirits." And the man says, "But doctor, I am Pagliacci." See, when Robin Williams died, it was like losing an uncle I never had. You know, it was difficult. I cried for days. I lost so much water weight, my body never looked so good. But it was in that moment I decided to become a comedian, to fill up the void that he had left behind. This is the China House where I first tried out my first common open mic, and this is where KL comedian Prakash Daniel found me and told me to try out the then new Crack House in Taman Tun. And so I would take the bus to KL from Penang, do a 3-minute step, say hi to family, and then just go back. Sometimes the relationship between comedy and pain can be very visceral. As I lie bleeding to death in the hospital, the doctor asked me, prepping me for surgery, "Boy, are you allergic to anything?" And I said, "Yeah, knives." He got me back though. He told my weeping mother I was literally too fat to be stabbed to death. See, I got good enough to be a comedian. I won a Yo Mama joke battle last year. The killing blow was, your mama's like a mosque. Every Friday she's full of dudes. I always believed that pain has the ability to transmute, comedy has the ability to transmute pain into laughter. This performance in Halloween was noted to be so good because, as audiences said, I looked so miserable. Comedy is the childhood redeemed. The comedians respect you when you stop waffling around and actually dedicate yourself to the structure and to the craft. Kavin J actually called me a wordsmith. I finally find my tribe, and I fit in because, frankly, none of us do. We live in a society which can be like a room where there is an elephant. And our job as comedians is to point at that elephant and go, "Ha! Look! Tusks! Ha!" Because, see, here's the thing. When you are the elephant, it's a means to tell you that you exist and that you matter. Thank you.